All right, 3 o'clock. We'll go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Live. Hello, everyone. This is Yo Faithful Amanda Splats with the Amanda Splats Project. Got a very special guest out here tonight, the one and only General Lord Maulington. I'm happy to have you here, man. I'm glad we're able to coordinate this. I've been waiting to talk to you, man.
Yeah, me too, absolutely. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for having me on. I've been looking forward to this myself.
So, let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room. Oshi Push.
Yeah.
I noticed you've been going pretty hard for Oshi Push. You know Carmelone, right? The one in like giggling cosmic caramel.
Yeah,
he's
lovely
actually,
yeah.
Yeah, he's actually gonna be teaching me how to play tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
It's tabletop simulator. I got a fucking potato running a 1235 IU. So there's no way I'd be able to stream tabletop simulator or anything like that. So we're just gonna be doing it on his channel tomorrow, like 4 o'clock, among other things that would fry my fucking potato. So I will be learning, because I made him a promise, and I think you saw this too. My Phase Oshi Orica, if someone went ahead and uploaded her to Tabletop Simulator, I'll go ahead and try to learn how to play the game with my dumb streamer brain. So, you know.
Yeah, sounds great. I mean, that's a base choice as well, Vanoshi, Urika. I love Urika as well myself. Yeah, I don't think she gets enough credibility sometimes, so I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, I hope you really enjoyed the game. I really enjoy it, actually. I originally got into it for just some face... Originally, I was like, this is just basically some cool Phase Connect merch to collect. But yeah, after playing it, I do really enjoy it. So I'll be interested in seeing what your opinion is.
Well, I know that's why a lot of with the crossover things, why people put their face like appearing in other games and appearing on cards and stuff, kind of helps sell that crossover appeal, get people interested in things that they may not normally be interested in. Because, like, for example, there's not a whole lot of overlap between the VTuber community and the collectible card game community.
No,
except for this and the HoloLive one, and didn't Bao have one?
Was it? I'm not sure. Shy Lily had one, didn't she? And did she? I don't know if it was with Bao. I don't know if Bao had her own one.
It was one where the problem was part of the mechanic was it baked into the game is actually physically losing your cards.
Yeah, that was V card with Shy Lily. Yeah.
Maybe that's not a good deal. Maybe people aren't going to be happy giving up their stuff.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of like I don't know what they were thinking with that one. That doesn't sound fun to people at all, right?
Yeah, I'm an old enough hag to remember Pogs back in the heyday, and how if you lost your Pog, you weren't just going to walk away quietly. There's going to be a fight on the schoolyard.
Yeah.
There's going to be blood on the fucking pavement.
Yeah, there's going to be blood, there's going to be tears, and yeah, no one's going to be having a good time. So it's like, yeah, that's always a bad mechanic to put into games, especially as, cheating happens for these games as well.
Yeah, and it was over little pieces of cardboard. Like it blows my mind when I think about growing up how obsessed we were for little pieces of plastic and cardboard, things like that. Yeah. These days it's all acrylic stands and collectible cards, right?
And the acrylic stands are really overpriced as well. I don't know why a little piece of acrylic costs like $25, $35, but there we go.
Yeah, plus shipping.
Plus shipping too. When I was in school, actually. Sorry, I was just going to say, when I was in school, actually, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a thing when that came out when I was in school, but also we had Beyblade as well, and I remember a lot of drama over Beyblading in the schoolyard.
Well, I know Starry Kamato, another one of our great flavor talents. He plays a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I was trying to learn how to do that, but there's just so many of them, like the Duel Links and the 5D, and there are just so many different house rules and everything, like... I'm still not sure I have all the pieces of Exodia left. That's how far behind I am. I'm still wondering what happened to Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah. Oh, man, I know. It's like, as well, back in the day as well, it's like most people just really followed the anime. They didn't really understand the rule set, so you had like kids playing the game, but they didn't actually know how to play it properly.
Yeah, I've actually got in my wallet somewhere. I got an old Yu-Gi-Oh! Promotional card from a long time ago. That I got from like some movie theater or something. I just kept it because it looked cool. Like, I'm not going to slip it into my a deck at any point in time and use it because I don't know if it'd be any good or not.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, when I was younger, I got like the what do you call it, like the starter decks for Yugi and Kaiba. So like the very first set, like the shiny Dark Magician and like the Blue Eyes White Dragon and stuff. I hear they go for not bad money these days. It's a shame I got rid of all my like first gen stuff.
Yeah, I should have kept all that old crap from when I was younger, like the McDonald's toys, and I had the Pokemon card game, a couple of the boss characters. Like, I think I had like Giovanni, the boss character, and another one. I should have kept all that. I should have had the foresight to think, hey, maybe someday these will be worth more than those Beanie Babies I've been holding on to.
Oh god, did you really have the Beanie Babies?
Only the ones that used to be McDonald's. I don't know what it was when I grew up. I collected a lot of those little fast food toys. And I thought someday they'd be worth something. And then I get to a point, like every maybe 1 or 2 years, where like, no, I've collected too much of this crap. I don't need it anymore. It all goes in the garbage.
Yeah, no, it's right. It's like a lot of you end up accruing a lot of crap, and it's always, you never know what's going to be worth saving and what isn't. Right? It's like back then you wouldn't think that a bunch of silly anime trading cards would go for like $200 like a card in some cases.
Luckily, these days a lot of it is digital crap, so it's much easier to store that stuff and buy like a 4 or 8 terabyte drive. Just plug it in, download it all, get it. I'm ready to clutter up my laptop again. Takes like 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny how like attitudes change. I remember kind of like in the mid 2000s or so, I was really against like digital stuff. I was always really big on like having physical copies of everything, and then I don't know, I think like the Steam store ruined things for me, but now I actually really enjoy the convenience of having things in a digital format. But then it's like, wow, at any point that could be taken down and you could lose access to everything.
Right. It's
Hey,
I'm of
easy
two
gaming.
minds of this. Like, on one hand, yeah, physical media is so important because I'm actually really into lost media, and there's just so many things like animes and games that we don't have access to anymore. And we're not going to have access to it soon because things are degrading. Like, Game Boy screens are cracking and the ink is running out and stuff like that. And that needs to be preserved. That needs to be dumped. But on the other hand, this is going to be sad. But I've talked about this before. I did not have a Steam account until I became Amanda Splatz a little over a year ago. I just had old games from an old laptop. And as soon as I figured out the concept of being able to own a game, like, quote-unquote forever, even if you delete it from your computer to make room, like, it's still sitting up there. Like, I pull up my Steam right now, like, I've only got a few of the games that I traditionally use saved right now, like Vampire Survivors, Virtua Fighter.
Oh, Vampire Survivors, that's a good one.
I've been playing a lot of Fights in Tight Spaces, but it's good to know that if I ever want to, I could go ahead and re-download and pull up a classic like Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. I accidentally opened a portal in hell, tried to revive Medallia in the favela. I need to close it. I can do that at the click of a button. It's fucking great.
Do you remember like all the side? Well, remember when side scrollers were a really big thing? You know, you like had the arcades and the side scroller games. You even had a bunch of like console games back in like the PlayStation with side scrollers. I miss side scrollers. It's a good genre.
One of the great things about being in this era right now is, number one, a lot of those are being re-upped and reloaded by other companies. Like, I think some of the, like, you see Ninja Warriors again and Wild Guns and stuff like that being like the licensing run out because they don't do anything with them. So they'll be re-released. Or the even better thing is that the people who love that stuff growing up are now old enough to make games themselves.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, this goes to actually something I was playing earlier today.
Hey, Interabang, how are you doing?
Which is a compilation of those retro-style games. And it's great because they feel and they play the way you love them, but they've got modern conveniences too, like automatic saving and things like that. So it's not just the one-on-one one-to-one experience. It's like they know what you love, they know what you didn't like, and are able to tailor that. So it's great. It's like, if you look past the AAA shit that they keep pumping out, like the fucking 2K games and the shooters that come out every year. Although those do have merit. And you look at the indie companies that are really keeping the industry alive. You'll find some amazing shit, man.
You do, yeah. Kind of like with the big, I don't know, we call it fanfare around Schedule 1, right? Which is like made by one or two guys, just like one indie dev with the love of the game and like the love of the industry is able to make something by himself. It's very basic and simple, but it just shits on all these like multi-$100 million AAA games. It's incredible to see it.
And one simple example, Balatro. Look
yeah.
how absolutely massive Balatro has gotten over the last year. So like even I had to try it out. It just you know when it hits, you know when the fucking dopamine hits and like the gameplay loop and everything. It's I understand the concept of a gacha, mostly because Carmelone. But I understand like the theory of like going for your waifu, rolling for, but I just load up Bing.com/create the AI generator. If I want to roll for a waifu, I'll just use an AI generator to get my waifu PNG, because at least then I have some say in what she fucking looks like.
Yes, much cheaper as well, right? Like a roll. Well, I don't know, what is it? Like novel AI is like 2 cents or something, I think, like an image. So yeah, it's much cheaper than like, yeah. So it's like, yeah, you don't have to spend like, what is it, like $40 for like 10 JPEGs, right? But this is the thing, is it's always like, yeah, I don't know, there's something about having that official big titty thick-fied JPEG that just does strange stuff to a man, right?
Yeah, it's just it's also the utility. Like if it's just having the pictures to have the pictures, then I don't see. But if there's actually some utility in the game itself, then I can almost see it. But you gotta have a good gameplay loop. You gotta have a good
gameplay loop. That's
people interested. Yeah.
Gotta make it fair as well. Like I like gacha games like Blue Archive, not Blue Archive. What's it called? Azure Lane. Because the thing about Azure Lane is that you can get at least one copy of shit completely free to play all the time. They're very generous with like the currency they give you to roll. And I think like most people spend on Azure Lane, they just like spend all their money on getting costumes and stuff as well. Whereas when you get some gacha games like Fate Grand Order, which have a really terrible pity system and it's really expensive and they're really tight with giving you currency. Yeah. It's like, I don't want to give them anything. I don't want to give them any money because I'll spend all this money and I don't get anything anyway. So what's the point? Why would I do it?
Yeah, it's like you keep putting in money into some that end up kind of feeling like a job. Like, again, this probably goes to have that old hag experience of what games used to be like. I don't get live service that essentially becomes a job unless you want to pay money to skip levels and things like that. Because if you're gonna make the option to skip large chunks of your game with money, you've built grind into your game, and you're fucking doing it wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Especially, it's like there's like a push these days to put that into single-player games when there's like no online progression, like competition element, and it's like, what the fuck? Why would I spend like $60 on a game and then spend another $40 to cheat and make the game even easier? Don't you? It's already got an easy difficulty. Like, what the fuck?
And the prices are just going up, period. Like they were talking about the Switch 2 coming out. And like the prices are going up for that for various reasons. And it's like, on one hand, I can understand. Like I remember Super Nintendo games being $60. And games are so much longer and take so much longer, and they're still usually like $60. I can understand the price going up. It's just with everything that people are saying, with the way that they're nickel and diming you, with DLC and everything, it doesn't feel like they're doing it because the price of everything is going up. It feels like they're doing it because they just want to make more money.
Yeah, it's like they can get away with it.
And they still have the Game of the Year editions and the Unlimited editions. It's like, I feel like it's... I mean, I know I'm a fucking idiot, but I feel like it's also intentionally confusing with all the different editions and everything, and all the way that the DLC and everything is purchased.
Yeah.
So, it just find a good indie, get a whole game. Like Balatra's like what, $10, $15, and they update it for free, like with cosmetic cards and stuff, and just have yourself a good fucking time.
Just have you have a good fucking time. I like it. Yeah, it's like one thing I've noticed as well, right? Is it's kind of like when you know you had old first-person shooters like Quake, where where it's all about the gameplay. It's very fast, very fluid, and you didn't have like the inventory space and all these little things that really slow down the gameplay and make things like unfun and complicated and convoluted. You have to like Google like the meta weapons to use and shit. But then back in the old days, you had stuff like Quake, where it's just like it was all based around the gameplay, just having fun, just a nice solid shooter, and it's kind of refreshing as well to see almost like a rise, kind of going back to like the era of the boomer shooter as they call them, and just having these really fun, fast, fluid games instead of these ultra realistic 2-weapon, super tactical like shit like Call of Duty that we have these days. I really like the Quake-based shooters coming back.
And I do remember like a couple of the Doom games, the sequels were kind of like that, where it's just turbo
let me try to get my microphone closer.
Shoot and rip demons in half, rip and tear until it is done. They kind of captured that spirit again, and it's great that and it's great that if the AAA companies aren't doing it, then the indie companies will pick up the slack too, and but then it also becomes a problem with all the other stuff that's on Steam, just wading through all of it. But I guess, don't they have some kind of algorithm or something, some kind of AI that helps with recommendations?
Yeah, I wonder. I think that they definitely have some kind of AI that helps with the algorithm. I guess it's like there's so much shit that gets uploaded to Steam. It's kind of like, I guess it's probably difficult to like filter it all. But there's been like a load of stinkers that have kind of like slipped through the net. Stuff like the DayZ back in the day.
Oh yeah, but luckily, like with AI like being more curated and everything, but got to be careful with that AI, man, because that's I tell you, the AI is getting a little fucking scary these days. Like it's been, but it is these days. And I feel like
Cara. How you doing?
That's one of the major reasons I chose FlaVR over anything else, is that FlaVR is a company that, why do I keep calling it a fucking company? Everyone's on the joke by now. FlaVR is a collective that was born of AI, and we embrace AI, and like for good or for bad, and kind of helped me understand a lot of things. Kind of helped me. It hasn't dissuaded all my fears. It's still fucking scary, but it helped me kind of get clarity on a lot of things and see that maybe there was a lot of hype over what it can do for now. Like maybe my job isn't going to be completely axed by AI. Maybe the entertainment sphere isn't going to be completely dominated by AI. It's a tool for right now. It's the tool, but you still need that human element to wield it.
No, you're absolutely right. It's kind of like with something like Neurosama, for example. I mean, Neurosama's great. Everybody loves Neuro. I love Neuro. But it still needs like someone like VDAO to help feed the AI information and help build that human connection. So as you say, right, it's like AI is a tool and it's used to help things. And it's kind of like with FlaVR, even though FlaVR was built of AI, there was this also, I guess, ideology behind FlaVR though, is that everybody is using AI for the sake of creativity and expression. They're not using it for the sake of like algorithms or like min-maxing stuff for monetary reasons. It's human beings who maybe might lack a skill or have a certain idea and need the assistance of AI to achieve it. So it's like a workman using his tools to create something, right?
Well, that's exactly what I do. And I try to be careful while I draw the line with AI with my stuff. You see the thumbnails I use. The reason I use Bing Create for my thumbnails is... sorry, hold on. I'm going to see if I've got enough energy to go ahead and turn on the
No
I
problem.
notice it's a little bit unnatural. That's better. That's a little more natural. The reason I use Bing for the AI pictures, it's I'm going for a certain aesthetic, and I can't draw. I'll automatically admit that right now. And Bing has access to the images of the like 80s and 90s anime OVA for references. They're not really good. But as much as I do love to that for the thumbnails and everything, when it comes to singing, I used to sing regularly on this channel. I use my own voice. That was actually one of the early problems. That game, do I want to use the AI voice or use my own voice?
Yeah.
And when it comes to writing, I like to just be 100% on my own, because I feel like that's kind of partially what's defining my channel now, the creator, the writing and the lore and everything. So I do what I can, and I try to be as much of my own soul and my own heart as I can. But with stuff that may not be cardinal to it, so they would just like be getting people drawn in with the thumbnails and art and the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind using AI, but because I do think it looks quite interesting, and it's like the thumbnails and stuff. They're not meant to be the content itself. They're meant to draw you in to the content. And with so many hundreds of thousands of YouTubers out there right now, oh god, it's hard to get a fucking foothold.
Yeah, it is. You're absolutely right. And I think with like using AI as well, I think AI in the creative industry is perhaps best suited, I'd say, to maybe more visual based stuff, really, rather than, I guess, kind of like writing and that more big picture strategic stuff. It's like, yeah, I don't have a problem with like using AI for thumbnails and stuff, but I think when you're like writing a story or trying to create a universe or something like that, then that has to 100% be you. I think it has to come from like your soul, and I guess I don't know what you'd call it, kind of like your natural creative juices. And you can use maybe AI art and images for like inspiration to help that creative process in your brain, but I think it still has to come from like the soul of a human being. I'm not sure that I think AI could write an entertaining story, but I don't think like an AI would be able to create something that's like deeply emotionally impacting upon people, like some of the stories we've had over the years.
There's a reason why people are calling it AI slop these days, and I know it's not just a derogatory term.
Yeah.
But as far as like the writing and stuff, I try to do writing at least like once a month, and I find that it's actually, I'm surprised by how, like, you notice lore. People don't talk about lore that much these days. Like, it's something to make a marketable plushie out of. But my background is actually in creative writing. Like I tell people, I'm not a streamer. I'm a writer who streams. And having that second, it's actually surprisingly been either second screen content where people just have it on in the background. And I'm 100% fine with that. That's cool, because like if you're looking at the screen during my writing stream, all you're seeing is like a WordPad document. But if I can entertain someone while they're working, if they kind of inspire them, have them tuned in, and that really fucking blows my mind. That there's stuff like this, like the wrestling and the writing and everything, I was doing for decades alone on my own without anyone watching. And the fact that anyone is interested in this shit, it blows my mind. and I'm thankful every fucking day for everyone who comes out.
Yeah, me too. That's the exact kind of like mentality I have as well. It's how long I've been doing. I hate to even call myself a content creator. I just think of myself as like a stupid fucking, idiot YouTuber guy who does dumb shit on the internet. But it's like, yeah, I have very much the same sentiment. I always feel, I don't know how to describe. I don't know how to describe it. I feel a little bit embarrassed, but I also feel very grateful and very touched, to have an audience of people who are like excited to see the next video or the stream and to give you support and their time and money, even whether they've got you on in the background or they've got you kind of like on the primary screen. It is, after all this time, I still do find it very touching and I do really appreciate it. So I think it's a good attitude to have. And I kind of like what you said earlier as well about how you're a creative writer who streams. And I think that is like the difference between a good content creator and a bad one. Maybe not all the time, but I think it's like, I think when you go into content creation, you should have that mentality of, I have something about me that I want to share with other people and I'm going to stream to deliver it. I see a lot of like, particularly smaller VTubers as well, who kind of come into it and they have a streamer VTuber first mentality, but they kind of like, okay, I'm going to be a VTuber, but then they go straight to Reddit and they're like, well, what kind of content should I do, guys? And it's like, well, you tell us. You're the one who wanted to be a streamer. What have you got to offer?
Play Five Nights at Freddy's.
play Five Nights at Freddy's and stream, yeah.
Whatever the big game is at the time.
Hey, Headfish, how you doing, buddy?
It's great to have that going in, but it's also important to be able to change that if necessary.
Yeah.
Because when I started out, it was initially supposed to be like singing. That was going to be the crux of the channel. My Oshi in Hololive is Asgi.
Oh,
She's
okay,
just
yeah.
such a creative, amazing person. Like, I love her older stuff more than anything. The ASCII White and ASCII Black, the lore-filled videos and stuff. She's kind of shied away from that recently. Done more like traditional stuff.
Hmm.
But then you find out like she didn't write a lot of her original stuff, and now she's happier with the stuff she's putting out now. So I'm happy for that. Like I was much of a fan of the ASCII project as I was of ASCII. That's one of the big reasons why the
Yeah.
channel is the Amanda Splats project, because of the ASCII project.
I see.
But after a while, after like a few months, I realized that I don't have the money or the equipment available to really go ahead and focus on singing, because you need a better mic, you
Yeah, it's
need
expensive.
editing software and stuff, and I'm like, and I get Menhera about this shit, like I get Menhera about not being able to stream certain games, and I just have to think, what can I do? What am I good about, and what can I do with my current rollout until I get some money? And
Yeah.
writing and the booking, the creative booking from Fire Pro Federation. It's just I feel like that was my biggest problem of like my first 6 months of doing this. I spent too much time worrying about what I can't do and not focusing on what I can do. And
Yeah.
that goes back to the words of the legendary, one of my inspirations, Paul Heyman.
Oh, Paul
wrestling
Heyman.
from
Yeah, I know
Etcetera.
Paul Heyman. Yeah.
Yeah, he said, highlight the positive and hide the negative. And the negative is my fucking frame rate.
I like that. So yeah, I guess a question I have too. I'm always interested in asking people kind of why they Oshify someone. So when I look at kind of like the people, when I look at who's my Kamiyoshi, I guess I have two. I've kind of split it into two Kamiyoshis. So I've got my English language sphere Kamiyoshi, and I've got like my Japanese speaker Kamiyoshi. So my EN Kamiyoshi is Kaneko Lumi, and my Japanese Oshi is Polka from Hololive. And I guess
Polka,
Yeah,
I love
Polka.
Polka. She's just absolutely wacky when she needs to. She got that Legend of Polka thing going, but she can be such a sweetheart too. I fucking love Polka.
I fucking love Polka as well. And it's like when I take a look at my Oshis, it's kind of like the both of them, I think, kind of similar in some regards. I mean, they're much more talented and brilliant than I am, but it's kind of like I gravitate towards them because they're similar to me in some ways. Do you find the same way with the people you Oshi? Do you think are your Oshis kind of similar to you?
Well, it depends. Like, I get the feeling, first of all, like it's okay to have more than one Oshi these days. I believe there are like over 150,000 VTubers out there.
Yeah.
So you can't just stick with one. My first Oshi that I went so hard in the paint for was Kiryu Coco.
Oh, okay, yeah,
right?
the classic, yep.
And because I was, I've told this story before. I'd gotten my job, my current job at Desert Salt LLC around the time the pandemic started.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the nature of my job, I wasn't able to see my family for like over a year.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was when Hololive started kicking off. And so being able to find, I had clips of Fubuki and Watame and all of them popping up, because I'd initially found Project Melody through Charlie. And then I found her out, and then I started getting clips of Hololive VTubers. And then, there's this big titty dragon who shitposts and speaks English. And I'm like, I feel like I was like a lot of people who were able to latch on to Coco, because there was this amazing new world, but most of them didn't even speak a lick of English. But here's someone from the United States of Dragon America who we could understand, who does occasional English language stuff. And she, like, was the gateway for me to a lot of stuff. And it broke my fucking heart to see what happened to her.
Yeah.
Through no fault of her own. And I tell you, her graduating from Hololive almost yeeted me right back into out of the rabbit hole. Like, it would be a very different future right now if it weren't for the fact that around the time Coco graduated, Gen 1 of Phase Connect debuted. I believe it was one of Coco's last streams. I saw a commercial for Phase Connect. Fishman say what you want about Fishman, and his dog shit spaghetti sauce, but he knows where to put his money. He knows he getting a bunch of eyes. So I went ahead and I checked out. I noticed, the bear woman, her voice is a lot different than the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of like a deeper, more soothing voice, with a high pitched, manic pitch. Like if the content's good, regardless of the voice. I mean, case in fucking point. But being able to catch Urika and she nailed it out of the park, man. When she pulled out the violin and just started wailing on Senbon Zakura, my heart was healed, man. Like, I gotten to the point where I was only going to listen to ASCII because she didn't actually do a lot of streaming, just music. But then Orca just pulled out that violin, and I was a fan of Phase Connect for fucking life, man.
Did you catch the debut of Veruca, or was it like a random stream you caught? Sorry.
I actually made a point to check out the debut, to be there for the debut, and listen to her, and because like it started with a voice. It's like, I know it's kind of folly, unless you're into like ASMR, things like that. Just pick a VTuber based on voice.
Yeah.
But hers was so different from everyone else's, and like you're more of a mature.
It's like a deep, smooth, mature voice, right?
Yeah, and kind of soothing, but also kind of nerdy. And I followed her, and it was great. Like, I'd eventually started taking the indie pill after that, and found a bunch of other amazing VTubers. But it was Urika, like it was Coco that got me in, and it was Urika that kept me in, and it was ASCII who was the constant through the entire time. So those are my big three. Them and a fourth one. My personal VTubing Mount Rushmore, woman by the name of Tiffy Weefy, Mother Tiffy. She is actually an advocate for disabled rights. She has cerebral palsy. She's kind of on a hiatus right now, dealing with college and things like that. So Mother Tiffy, I hope you're watching, I hope you're listening. And I learned a lot from her about I don't have a fucking community. I got a very small community right now, like 5 people. But I learned a lot about her taking care of your community and being careful, like what you present and who you associate with, things like that. And like she does writing streams too. She does tarot card streams, things like that. D&D type of VTuber at Tiefling. And it's just, I think where I'm going with all this is that all these amazing people I've watched, all these people that help keep me fucking sane through all this time. If what I'm doing as Amanda Splats can do honor to them and do my interpretations through them and honor what they did, try to give back to the community that saved me, then this whole fucking project has been worth it.
Oh, that's a very beautiful sentiment. I quite like that. Yeah, it's nice. It's like,
thank you.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful sentiment. This is I kind of, to some extent, I kind of echo that same sentiment because I think kind of what initially interested me in VTubing, the reason why I'm here and kind of like my inspirations. Originally I watched Kazuna AI's kind of like my first exposure to VTubers, but I didn't actually like Kazuna AI, funnily enough. When I thought she was like an AI at first. So when I thought she was an AI, I was absolutely hyped about that. I thought it was fantastic. Then when I realised that VTubers were like, people controlling models, then I was like, oh, this is shit then, actually. But eventually what happened is that I discovered a English language VTuber by the name of Girl DM. And what I guess kind of like attracted me to Girl DM and what made me really enjoy the sector from her is that she had a 3D model. She had, at the time, probably the best 3D tracking model around. And even when you compare it to, it was 5 years ago, I think she got it. But even though it's been 5 years, that model she had 5 years ago is still some of the best tracking I've ever seen. So I kind of saw that, and I was like, damn, I'd love to do this as well, because there's so much opportunity for like comedy and entertaining people through puppeting like these 3D VTuber models. So after a couple of years, I kind of wanted to do the same thing. But what really got me into this, what actually keeps me in VTubing, and what what impresses me about this sector though, is the personal and professional journeys and developments that some VTubers can go through. Kind of like the stories of people like Suisse, the stories of people like Polka, Pippa and Leah from Phase Connect as well. Kind of seeing those people kind of like grow up and change and go through their struggles over the years. It's like, yeah, it's really fantastic. I absolutely respect those people as well for kind of what they do for their communities and how they give back to all that support they've got over the years.
Yeah, it's I'm a fan of ASCII, and through her, I learned about the story as 3C. And I wasn't initially a big fan of hers at the beginning because, like most people, I only watched the clips and just saw about the whole Suika Path thing. But then you learn about her story. You learn about all the shit she had to go through I and NK.
Yeah.
And then her being saved, essentially, by joining the main branch. And now she's like one of the top 3, isn't she?
Yeah,
like
I think she is.
Marine, and
she's definitely top 5.
Known as Gora.
Yeah, she's definitely top 5, I reckon. Yeah, I think in terms of like idol VTubers, like musician VTubers, I do think she's in top 3 in that regard, definitely.
And she pulled herself up by her bootstraps, so to speak, like with her own models and everything, and just grinding away for years, refusing to give up as people graduated around her. And I'm so happy to see she made it, man. She is absolutely. Really at the heart of the type of success story that a lot of these people who have higher aspirations can latch on to. She's the one who actually made it from nothing.
She did. I mean, she really worked her butt off. She struggled, and she really wanted it, and she didn't give up. And in the end, she did manage to make it. And it's I think it's quite inspiring as well, right? Even if you take away the context of VTubing, I look at some of these VTubers who've really struggled to hit that idol dream and make something of themselves, and kind of it's kind of like reassuring in a way to see that at the beginning of their careers as well, that they did go through that struggle, because it's kind of when you're a smaller content creator yourself, you know, and you're putting a lot of work into things, and then you think, oh, maybe I'm not cut out for this kind of thing, or you think, you know, maybe I really suck and I'm never gonna amount to anything. But then you remember that there are so many of these great VTubers out there who did have a rough start themselves, but they just, you know, kept working on it. They did right by their community. They built their skills up. Always went on. They always soldiered on with a smile on their face, and eventually they did get there.
Yeah, not only, and the grind is going to be that much harder today because there are so many more people doing it right now, and there are so much fewer spots at the top with companies closing and people graduating en masse and everything. But the fact that it helps to know that you're not alone. It helps to know there are a lot of people out there, and as careful as you have to be with choosing the right clique and choosing the right people that you associate with. It's great to know that you don't have to do it alone, man. Even if you're not in a big corpo, when you have a company behind you, if you just get with a person or a good clique like FlaVR, they absolutely help you out so fucking much. I don't know how anyone could do this alone. Just working by themselves, even without a manager or anything. No man is an island, I guess what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's I guess it depends on how you define working alone. I've always kind of done this VTubing thing by myself, but it's kind of fortunately for me, my first video, my first piece of content actually went quite viral. So I've always had the very fortunate experience of having a community to kind of help me through my content creation journey and be there for me. So yeah, I guess I'd say actually, I guess based on that, I really haven't been alone. Yeah, I've been able to draw strength from that. But yeah, I think about it. It's if I didn't have the strength, if I didn't have that support from a community, then I probably still wouldn't be around making content today. You know, I probably would have given up.
Absolutely. I've been told by a couple
hang on,
creators that there's just that one person sitting in your chat chatting it up that kept them going.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. I did this primarily to give back, but the fact that I could actually start doing this as a VTuber, and I think maybe I look at it a little bit different than other people because I don't have higher aspirations for this. I know I'm a wagey, I'm a middle management wagey. I can't give that up to do this.
Thank you.
And I've been doing creative stuff for a long time offline. I tell people, y'all aren't coming in at the beginning of a story. Y'all are coming in at the end. But the fact that anyone's listening to the story blows my mind. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess knowing that I'm not trying to claw up and get like a gamer subs thing,
Yeah.
or like get into like Ninja Sanji or something like that, kind of gives me a little more freedom to do what I want,
I'm the
especially
same
with
way.
people in FlaVR. In FlaVR, like oh god, that's another one of the big reasons that I went into FlaVR. That there's just so much variety, man. There's so many great people. Like you look through the roster, you look through all the names, you're gonna find something you love. You're gonna find someone you're gonna enjoy.
No, that's very true. I echo that sentiment as well about kind of like, again, like, yeah, like I'm an engineer again, and I'm kind of in the upper management sector of engineering. And when I kind of first went into content creation, I was very much concerned about the numbers game and, you know, rising to the top. But then over time, as I made more and more videos, I actually kind of realized that I actually don't like I don't like the attention all that much. But then also, I just like doing my own thing and not having to stress about how my performance is doing. I like having the freedom to upload and do what I want whenever I want, and that makes me it helps my mental health much better than when I was really concerned about making regular content on specific stuff that will do the good numbers. I think it's very relieving because I can kind of see it with some other VTubers as well. It's like they're so desperate for whatever reason to, you know, make it and try to make this a career, but they end up really either burning themselves out or causing themselves some serious issues, unfortunately.
Yeah, and plus, if you get known for that kind of stuff, then people are going to watch you for that kind of stuff and drop off when you try doing your own thing most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be known for what I do and what I love to do as opposed to like occasionally I'll play the game of the week like Balatro, but that's only if it's something that I think I would actually enjoy and have. Like Doki Doki Literature Club, I keep bringing this up. I don't think I'm ever going to stream it because, you know, it's interesting, but everyone knows it. Everyone knows the hook. I don't think I'd be able to add anything pertinent to the conversation. But something like Balatro, you know, I'm a degenerate fucking gambler, so it actually fits the character. I'll give it a shot. It's addictive as hell. I'll give it that.
Absolutely.
But it's just, and I'm trying to. This goes back to the Minhera because everything fucking does. But it goes back to what kind of persona and what do I want to project? What do I want to put out there? What if people are stopping by my channel for the first time because YouTube unfucked the algorithm? What do they see? What do I want them to see? And that's why I try to keep in mind like what keeps me going, and occasionally what might draw new people in. But I think that's one of the biggest things I've been working on. Try to be more cognizant of what I put out there and who I am, and like because if it's someone who doesn't know me, somebody who's just stopping in for the first time, what are they gonna see? What's their impression of me gonna be? And
no, exactly.
I've been trying to work on that. I'm trying to, within my financial purview, which you know isn't much right now, trying to put on the nicest, most polished product I can. And trying to be as interact with the fans and everything as I can, trying within reason, of course, because you know
within reason, it takes a while.
You get the fucking schizos wherever you go. But it's mostly been great people. It's mostly been some amazing fucking people.
Yeah, I'd say
I started doing this.
Yeah, like 99% of people I think are excellent, and then you get that 1% of just weird and miserable schizos who are like, just fuck off. Thank you very much for the 20,000. Sorry, I'm not sure what that currency is, Jack John. Yeah, Jack John says Mother V3 has cerebral palsy. This is news to me. Yeah, bless her.
Oh. Yeah, she's Tiffy Weed. Yeah, she doesn't even hide it. I'm not telling tales out of school. She is a advocate for the disabled. She has a YouTubers with Disabilities group, and like she hasn't streamed for a little while because she's dealing with college stuff. But the passion that Tiffy has, like originally I saw her through the playthrough of what was that? Was that Mongolian visual novel?
Oh, Mongolian visual novel.
Katawa Shoujo. with the disabled mode.
Yeah, I didn't know that was
I
on
initially saw her through reading playthrough of that, but then finding about the D&D and everything, and her own creative writing streams, I got hooked really, really early on. And so then finding out what she's passionate about and what she's willing to fight for, even at like putting her own stuff on the line, it does my heart good to know that there are people that passionate out there in the VTuber sphere. There are people that put that you get fucking cynical with all the stuff you hear, all the rats and everything, and all the documents that get leaked day by day. It's good to know that there are people out there who are doing it because they want to fucking do it.
Yeah, it's the reality of anything in life. You're gonna have people, particularly in the creative sphere, you're gonna have people who are genuinely earnest and honest in what they do, and they just want to make content and entertain their fan base and hopefully make a living off of doing it. But then you get people who either come into it and they've got some, I guess, really negative bad character traits, they've got some growing up to do, or maybe fame and success kind of develops bad character, develops bad habits and bad behaviors. And yeah, I mean, it's like that with the current situation with Cinder, unfortunately. Well, she has obviously every opportunity to defend herself and refute the Google Docs made against her. But it's like with anything, you're always going to have people out there who are two-faced. They're all smiles and friends on the surface of things, but behind the scenes, they're really jealous, hyper-competitive, and they just want to throw, other people under the bus and try to get ahead over other people.
Yeah, it just I do love my affiliates, my people in FlaVR, but I have had to deal with a person or two like that in the past. I'm not gonna say any fucking names, but I just say don't meet your idols, kids.
Yeah,
but for every snake in the fucking grass, I've met so many great people, and I think like you said, I think people know I'm not going to try to stab him in the back or anything because I don't have higher aspirations. Like, I know I'm never going to get paid for this. I know I'm just here to put out a story, finish a story for once in my life, stream a couple fucking games, try to get the brainworms out live on stream. 4K.
Yeah.
Well, live in 720p. Let's be 100% honest here, and just try to. It's a fucking social thing for me as well, although not nearly as much as most people, because I do touch grass here and there. But it's just, I'm not here to stab anyone's back or to try to get up. I'm fine where I am right now with the community I have, although more people in is always nice, more people who are interested.
Yeah.
But it's just, and I try to spread that love too. Like this week, I've had, including I believe a total of 4 or 5 collabs going this week. And I tried to reach out to various members of FlaVR, like Grub Handler. He's this deep-voiced Mexican gentleman. His character, he ranches grubs. And he plays a lot of Marvel Rivals, Borderlands, stuff like that. But he reached out. He's not above just hanging out with me and my fucking potato PC and playing some card games.
PC. Grub love. Yeah.
And just last night I was up until 2 a.m. with the legendary Choco Minato, someone who started like a few months ago and is into my particular brand of Tism, the fighting game, and has been putting out some amazing content for that. We just riffed for like 6 hours talking about the cheapest bosses in SNK history, and I didn't even notice the time was flying by until I passed out.
Yeah.
But until then, it was fucking great. And of course, the legendary Cara Malone. Probably my biggest inspiration as far as fellow FlaVR members. Someone who was real supportive in the beginning. And we still collab pretty regularly. I guess the best thing is that I can say about the great Cara Malone is that we've learned how to put up with each other's shit.
He's in the chat.
That's the best compliment we can give each other. We played. You're gonna make me talk about fucking blood. So, as a joke, Malone has said on the past on stream that if someone buys him a game, he'll play it because he feels obliged to play it. So as a joke, I bought like some 49-cent games for him, including like a little garbage can clicker game, and of course the Game of the Year candidate, Brazilian Drug Dealer 3. I accidentally opened Portal to Hell in the Favela trying to revive it. I need to close it. But the one I bought recently for like 49 cents was called Blood and Bacon. First-person boomer shooter, where you're literally just running around shooting a bunch of pigs. It's the same map for 101 levels. You're running around a small pen on a farm shooting pigs, and occasionally, like every 10 rounds, there's the same couple of boss fights. And I don't know why I kept pressing the joke, but over 3 streams, we did all 101 levels. And it was horrible, but at the same time, it was fucking great. And I think that goes back to the Crusoe days and the old, like, the 49-cent games and, like, shit, like, but even back in the day, like Bokosuka Wars or the original Spelunker, crap like that, the Action 52 games. Even the horrible games, you could find fun in them as long as you're with some, like,
as long as you're with someone, right? Exactly.
And as long as you're enjoying it together, like, it becomes a bonding thing, and it's fucking great.
Yeah, it's something I find with like MMOs. There's a lot of MMOs these days, like even old ones who've been around a while, and they're awful when like I try to play them by myself or go with a new group. But if you've got just 1 or 2 guys who you click with very well, then it completely transforms the experience and it becomes somewhat enjoyable, even if the game is potentially quite terrible. I think going back to what you said earlier as well about kind of like drama and attitudes and ambitions and stuff, I think it helps if you aren't a particularly ambitious person, then yeah, it's like you're not going to stab anyone in the back because you don't care. But I also think it's good to be it's good to be over 30 as well, because as you get older, you just don't like give a shit anymore. You just don't have like you get that old man energy, right? You just don't give a fuck. So yeah,
I 100% admit I'm a hag.
Yeah.
I made enough references to the Nintendo Entertainment System. People would have sussed out that I'm a hag. I'm not in it for the fame. I'm just in it to have a good fucking time. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah, it's like it's the trickiest thing I find, right? Is it's like trying to find among like other male content creators, other male VTubers, is trying to find those guys who you can really those guys who you just click with, right? And you can. Just it becomes like a collab. It's no longer like a collab. It's like you and your buddy are just going around doing stuff that you enjoy, right? So it doesn't become something that you really think about or become conscious about. It becomes just like a natural good time, like you'd have with any friend, really. And I think that's kind of like the peak, and I think that's like the real strength of that male VTubers can do. In particular, is that although with VTubing, there's that kind of element of the simp effect where guys are fawning over cute girls, but I think that I think nothing can beat the bro effect, really. I think bro effect beats the fawning over cute girl effect.
Yeah, it's like I know there's kind of a handicap about how like male VTubers, it's very rare for them to be as successful, but as far as actually doing what you do, doing what you love, and the composition of FlaVR has, I believe, become mostly male. Over the last year or so, the Babaniku Revolution, as I like to call it. The
Babaniku Revolution, yeah.
Myself, Malone, Shoko. For those of you who may not know why I fucking sound like this, Babaniku is. There are a few different ways to put it, but I find the way it's easiest I describe is that it's a male VA for a female character. Like Amanda Splatz is a female, but the person voicing her, the author behind her, is male. So that's just I don't care. Like male, call me him, her, she, whatever. I don't fucking care. But I think part of the reason that I'm kind of that divorced from the character, not divorced, but see it as kind of an extension, something different, is partially because being a writer. A lot of people see their VTuber persona as a cute or anime version of them. I do see myself as Amanda Splatz, but I also see Amanda Splatz as the protagonist of the story of Mahavre. But part of it is also going back to Kiryu Coco and the fucking. I'm not blaming any group or nationality or anything, but Coco went through some absolute shit.
I mean, I do personally, but yeah, it's go on.
And when she when she got doxxed and like they started showing her, not doxxed, but they started showing her real life face and everything, and she was streaming as her alt with her face for a long time before she became Coco. That kind of helped me realize, hey, you can get attached to the character, you can get attached to the persona, what they're putting on screen.
Yeah.
But it's most important to support the VA, the talent behind.
Yeah, support the real person behind it, right? Exactly, not the company.
And
yeah.
And as an addendum to that, I think it was hilarious that the Antis tried to fuck with Coco by showing her real life face. And then, like, literally overnight, she went from 100,000 subs on her alt to 600,000 subs.
Yeah, and she's attractive as well, so it's like good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. It blew my fucking mind. I believe I was actually subscribed to, we'll say it, she's not even hiding it, Kason. I was subscribed to Kason before I was subscribed to Coco, I think. Because she was... I was one of those many people thinking that the Final Fantasy VII Remake was never going to come out.
Yeah.
And then it fucking did. And then I saw a video, oh, this woman looks exactly like Tifa Lockhart. I think if she was like real life.
Oh, yeah, I can see the resemblance, yeah.
Gigantic boobs. And who is this woman who's actually playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake as, and it's Kason on air. And she's cursing up a storm and teaching us Southern English and shit like that. And oh, that's cool. And then I forgot about her for a while. And then when it was time, I'm already subscribed to her. That's cool. So it's just beautiful that like she landed on her feet, but yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see the happy ending rather than the sad ending. And I think part of growing up as well is realizing that Tifa is indeed best girl as well. When I was younger, I always preferred Aerith, but after growing up, it's like, nah, Tiff is actually best girl. Tiff is best girl.
Is it weird that I always thought Elena was best girl?
Yeah,
the in the suit.
Really, Elena? I guess so. Actually, Elena is cute. I'll give it that. Yeah.
She's kind of in a bad, and maybe it's the women in suits thing too. I was marking recently. There are currently 5 people from the project that have streamed on my channel, and 3 of them, myself included, are women in suits. So maybe I have a type.
Yeah. I mean, I have a thing. I'm pretty sure I remember who Elena is, but I have a thing for blondes as well, actually, so I do approve.
Yeah, she's one of the Turks with Reno and Rude.
Yeah, that's right. She's a short-haired blonde one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a very long time since I played Final Fantasy VII. I didn't play the remakes. I'm just trying to remember which one she is. Yeah. But
but she was in the original too. Like, it's been a long time since I played Final Fantasy because it just. Those RPGs, it just like takes so much time.
Hundreds of hours, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, and that's one of the things I've had to be more cognizant of, picking games for streams too. Because early on, I wanted to do those. Like a company called Aeon Genesis. They did a lot of fan translations for Nintendo.
Thank you very much for the gifted membership, I Study Buddy. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
And
much appreciated.
I wanted to play them on stream. Then I realized they're old school JRPGs. Are you willing to sit around? Can I Zatsu for like 50 to 60 hours when most of that is just going to be running around a 3x3 patch of forest?
Thank you very much for the other membership, I Study Buddy. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Thank you, I Study.
Again, this morning I was playing
more like Sugar Daddy.
Brimstone, the RPG baked into UFO 50. And of the 2 hours that I played that before, I got pissed. Most of that was just running around the same block, just fighting the same enemies again and again. So I got to be careful. Like that's a separate brainworm though. Like getting games that I just play offline. I've had to force myself multiple times to tell myself, Amanda, you don't have to stream every fucking game you buy. Like, you can buy some stuff to play offline if you want. Yeah. But also make purchases of what would be fun, what would be an entertaining game, and just walking around grinding unless you're able to do a Zatsu, which I've been practicing, which I've been working on. That's just not it. That's why I've gotten into games like the Fights and Tight Spaces, the Rogue Deck Builder, and I have to break out Death Road to Canada again sometime, because it's the roguelikes.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
it's always slightly different every. It's not 100% random. It's procedural, but it's always something different every time. So, like, you could get absolutely screwed over, and that's entertaining in and of itself. But there's that progression where
Hey,
it's
Pavlo,
different
how's it
every
going, buddy?
time. It's entertaining
Just having a
every
good old
time.
chat, Pavlo.
And it's just. It just got like with like I said, I didn't want to talk about politics, but everything has become so fucking expensive these days. You got to make smarter decisions, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so happy that Steam dumps their prices like 30 to 99% off.
Yeah, the Steam sales are a lifesaver. Yeah, but then it's like the problem is that every Steam summer sale I buy so much shit, and then it's like I've had some stuff for like 7-8 years, haven't even installed it, but I've bought it.
Yeah. I recently realized I picked up Blasphemous, and I don't even remember picking that up.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've got the hag reflexes to play that. But that actually plays also the Steam sales and everything, how the channel started. Initially, I got the Potato laptop because it was a third off at Office Max, and I didn't need too much because I was just going to focus on singing. But around the time I premiered, July 17th, was EVO, which is the worldwide fighting game compendium.
Right.
Where all the professionals go. And all the fighting games I loved growing up, the King of Fighters and all of them, were like 80 to 90% off.
Whoa, wow.
So I got so many of these massive deals for like $3 or $4. They're ancient games, so I can run them and stream them pretty well. And that helped change the course of history, too. So it's just... It's good to have an idea of what you want to do. It's good to have that mindset, that driving force, but you also got to be ready for it to change due to circumstances or the way the wind's blowing or just how you feel. Does it drive you anymore? What drives you now? And just being able to change with that, being able to grow with, and you were talking about, like Suisse, I'll be able to grow as a creator and being able to change with the times. I think that's probably one of the best stories you can tell as a VTuber. Is that story about growth, that story about evolution, being able to better yourself. Because if people see you do it, maybe
I can do it too, right?
Do it themselves, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the big reasons people get so gravitated towards people like Pippa. It's kind of like they see Pippa's like rapid evolution from when she started VTubing to how she is today, and it's like, wow. If Pippa can do it, then I can too. Maybe I will get out of my room and go learn how to do that art, or do creative writing and stuff as well. It's interesting as well because it's like, well, I think one of the problems I struggle with myself is that despite how I may appear sometimes, I'm actually an introvert. So social interactions are actually really draining things to me. And kind of one of the things I struggle with is that I'm always because I'm here just to have fun and screw around. Whenever someone wants to collab with me, my attitude is always, yeah, sure, why not? So have some fun, see what happens. But the thing I always struggle with though is not also due to stress from work and how busy I am in my life as well. But it's always like in one moment I'll be like, at the time I'll be like, yeah, I'm happy, I want to do this collab, let's do it, that'll be fun. And then when it actually comes to the collab day, it's like I'm really struggling for the energy and the motivation to then actually go through that collab in the end. I think I'm also struggling from a little bit of burnout at the moment as well through some of my projects. And it's I
noticed you've got a lot of things going right now for you. You've got a lot of projects going.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I struggle to realize. I think I fail to appreciate maybe how many projects I've got on and when I'm maybe taking on a little bit too much, because it's like when I think about these projects I do as a VTuber, I think it's just stupid, low effort nonsense. But then it's like when I look at it in retrospect, it's kind of like just having a stream where I'm doing a PowerPoint presentation on viewers gun collections. That would take me 12-14 hours to set up, and that's three of my evenings in the weekday, right? That's 3 days of free time I've lost just to do this silly little presentation stream, and it's quite exhausting. But the problem is with me, I find, is that it's I try to plan things in advance and keep to a schedule, but then by the time that schedule, it's time to act on that schedule, it's I've completely changed my mind and I want to do something completely different now, and it's always a struggle.
it just, I guess I'm lucky
I'm not
in that
furry.
aspect.
Fuck
Like
you.
I'm a wagey and my schedule comes out every 2 weeks, and I know when I can stream and what I can do based on what it says on that digital piece of paper.
Mhm.
But as far as like having so many ideas, being able to do so many things, especially if you've got a job and you can't do this like 30, 25, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
It's just, you got to be selective. And part of that is what your community's into. And part of that's also what drives you. So what I did during my 6-month and my 9-month streams, maybe you might want to look into this too. I went ahead and put down a list of all the content I've made, all the types of content and everything, and then one by one I went ahead and ranked them, like alphabetically, and just put like, do I like this more than I like that? No, so then I'll put that above that on the top of the list, and they're just kind of, it's like the Tuhu sorter, if anyone remembers that.
Yeah.
I'll just kind of sort for myself, look at, just have a physical list of what I feel is important, what drives me and what I want to do, and then what I feel like is not as important, and then just gauge by that. Because maybe it's just me being a middle management wagey, but it's just so much easier for me when I had that physical thing that I can look at, that's just written down on me, and that just kind of helps straighten out my thoughts. So maybe I need to stop doing these kind of streams because I don't like it and nobody else likes it. Maybe I need to do more of this because I have this capability now. And it's so important to just reassess your priorities regularly. Because like I said, when I backed off on being a V singer and focused more on writing and collabs and stuff, I found that I was a lot happier with the content I was putting out.
Yeah.
Instead of forcing myself to do karaoke's and stuff.
And that's the big thing, yeah. You have to be...
And you also change as a person doing this, so...
Exactly.
What your priorities are might change. That's why it's good to regularly reassess them.
Yeah, it's really important that you actually you like and you're proud of your own content, because if you have to look back on it and then you feel like bad about it or you think it's not up to stuff, then that kind of eats at you and gives you the brain worms, right?
Right. Like, are you putting out stuff because it's you, or are you putting out stuff because it's popular? Because if people only get you for the stuff that's popular, then they're gonna expect more from that, and are you just gonna do that all the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Or are you just gonna like show who you are? So
I had to learn that lesson. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and these lessons, like, we know logically, that's the right course of action, but the heart does so much thinking for us on a regular basis.
That's right.
You got to learn that lesson again and again and again.
Yeah, I don't have it in me to always do like what's popular and what's financially or like from a business perspective the best for my channel. I need to be able to look back on the work I'm doing and think, yes, I'm happy with that and I'm proud to have this up, because I think some of the people in my chat know that I've said before about how embarrassed I am about some of the content I've uploaded in the past. So yeah, I'm much happier with what I do now, so I don't, after a week after the upload, I don't feel like, oh shit, I really want to take this down now.
Right, like what if someone, let's say like the algo hits and someone new is recommended to your channel, if they look at your videos,
cringe for free, that's me, yeah.
What would they see? What is their impression of seeing what you have? Like, I don't want to get fucking morbid, but like if I were to die today or something,
oh, like God. Yeah.
What would I have left behind? Like what kind of story have I told so far? If there was going to be no more content for the project period anymore, what have I left behind? And that's, I think that's one of the big reasons why I started leaning more into content that speaks to me, and I've been trying so much harder to like cut out the menhair.
Yeah.
Like early on in the project, I used to like vent pretty openly about the shit that I was going through, and I still do talk about it here and there, but it's segregated into its own little place. And I try to be more careful, because as much as your fans understand and want what's best for you, a lot of people aren't going to be there for that type of shit. Because it's good to be honest with your fans, but you've also got to be able to like know when to pull back, know when to good, because you don't want to worry them too much either.
Yeah, I mean, people at the end of the day, people are here to be like entertained, and they're here for good times. And yeah, it's like if you've got a true fan base, then they're gonna feel that emotional burden from whatever emotional toil you have. So it's kind of, I think, like a respectful thing to do to try to avoid putting that on them.
Right, and I fucking hate to say it, and I do apologize in advance, but I learned that lesson pretty much from Orica. During her like first year or so, she was openly really fucking hairy, and like openly crying on stream and stuff.
Yeah.
And someone straightened her out, like probably Fishman, I think it was.
It was Fishman, yeah, it was.
Yeah, and Mume. Shout out to Mume, or not Mume. What's her
Mumi?
name?
Yeah, Mumi.
Yeah, Mimi. She's gotten so much better about that. It's just it was great to see her seeing her transformation, especially being a little more open about her, like with her heritage of Taiwan and everything. It's been really fucking interesting culture, and her growing and like finally graduating from. Don't worry, it's college. She graduated from fucking college. Don't start the fucking panic false idea or anyone like that. But she, seeing her evolve, it made me want to be more cognizant of what I put out there. But then again, like in your head that's what it is. But sometimes it just fucking comes out, and that's something you got to train yourself with.
That's right. I've got an interesting. I think it's an interesting question, but I got a question for you. I made a tweet yesterday about the kind of relationships that you have with people on the internet. It was more tailored for content creators about other content creators. Can't quite remember what I said now, but it was something like I said that you should assume most people you interact with on the internet are trying to use you for your own ends, and I also said that. Oh god, I'm trying to again the stress now of live streaming. I can't quite remember what I said, but I said that assume that most people on the internet are trying to use you for your own end, for their own ends, and assume that. Actually, hang on, give me 1 second. Let me just get the tweet open again a minute, just so I can remind myself what I said. What did I say?
No problem, man. But if it was this morning, I was up till like 2 a.m. during the Choco collab, so I was a little fucked up. That's why I may not remember it.
Yeah. Sorry, just bear with me, guys. It's not too long ago. There we go. So I said, assume everyone you meet on the internet is using you for their own ends. Assume they're talking mad shit about you behind your back with some of your other associates, but act accordingly. Be polite, well-mannered, and always do things because you want to. And protect yourself at all times. Share nothing with anyone. No trusted friends. Again, this is on the internet. And never share anything on the internet you aren't comfortable with everyone knowing. And when I made that tweet, I think most people seem to agree with my perspective, but there were also a fair few people who thought that that's too isolating and too paranoid, and that you shouldn't be afraid to, I guess, open up more and try to develop, real close friendships with people on the internet. And I thought that was interesting because my kind of perspective isn't that you can't necessarily form friendships on the internet, but the kind of friendships that you would develop with people on the internet, you should always keep internet people at least an arm's length away, so you don't share too much stuff with them. You never really you don't become close friends with them. What's your perspective on that, if you were able to follow along?
Well, number one, when I replied and asked if you were okay, I didn't know about the whole Shonda situation. I thought you just got like fucking gut punch from someone.
No, it's nothing to do with me myself. Yeah.
I'm happy to hear it. But as far as actual like quote unquote relationships on the internet, friendships on the internet, I'm of two minds, and I've been able to reconcile those because like I've been online for a couple decades now. And when I first started getting online back in the day, I'm not gonna date myself, but using like what chat programs I was using and shit. But I tried to forge those really close friendships, and a couple of the early ones like really turned sour, and that kind of burned me. And then you got the friends who you're really good friends with, but they disappear. Like,
they disappear. That's right. Yeah.
You never hear from, like, you're worried about an old friend of mine, one of my closest friends online, I haven't heard from him like 5 to 6 years, and it worries the shit out of me. Because the last time we spoke, he talked about doing something to himself, and I'm kind of scared about that. But as close as you get to these people, you also got to remember there are bad actors out there.
That's right.
It's like I do be careful when I talk to certain people. Like, my mentality is I trust you, but I don't trust the guy who's hacked your computer and is watching our conversation. Yeah. That type of shit.
Yeah.
So, like, I do understand about being guarded. I do understand about being careful and not oversharing. But if you try to push everyone away and try to be guarded against everyone, there was a point in my life where I was doing that too. And I was really fucking lonely online. And so you've got to find that equilibrium. You've got to, and in real life too. I find that with like my coworkers and my employees, I'm able to chat with them, share a meme or two, but don't overshare with them. Don't be too much with them, because you don't know what their actual ambitions are sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
So it's. I understand wanting to be guarded, especially if.
Hey, yes, Hara.
I've been hurt before, but you can't completely wall yourself off either. So just and maybe, like, talking about people in the space with autism and things like that, may not be able to gauge that line as acutely as other people.
Yeah.
So letting that trust in, like, it is so much harder for a lot of people, especially in our space.
Yeah,
and that's a line that you've got to draw for yourself. I'm just saying, like don't share like real life names, addresses, things like that. Obviously, the basic stuff.
Yeah,
because even if you do 100% trust the person, what if one of you gets hacked?
That gets hacked, and that information gets out. Exactly, and that's right.
There you go. One of the reasons I never buy things online with the debit and credit card. It's just like I trust you. I don't trust the person who's walking.
Yeah.
Or that's looking over your shoulder on the subway or something. So it's like, it's good. It's important, especially if you're using this for the social. There's a reason they fucking call it social media. If you're using it for the social aspect, is it important to make those acquaintances? But it's also important to know where the boundaries are, especially if it's someone you're not going to meet in real life. You're not going to touch grass with them out there.
Exactly.
It's hard to draw those lines, and those lines have to be drawn by each individual person.
Yeah, as the Horror Channel says, honestly, just treat every single online interaction as if at any point it would get exposed to the world. And that's kind of, I guess, probably what I kind of struggled to communicate a little bit, right? It's like, for me personally, I am very guarded against people I meet, particularly on the internet, because again, like you, I've probably not been on the internet as long as you have. I've been on the internet for about 27 years or so, I'd say, but since I was like 5 years old, 6 years old or something. And I've fortunately, I myself, I've never been like betrayed or had those disastrous, I guess, occasions. Like, but I've seen a lot of it happen, and I've seen like the most surprising people who you'd probably think very highly of. Like behind the scenes, they're actually like a two-faced, backstabbing dickhead. But the kind of like the way I approach my internet relationships with people is, it's like I do assume that there's some kind of angle, but then I behave in a way that it doesn't matter if that is the case, because I don't share too much information with them. And I kind of have that perspective where I even though I assume that maybe they've got an angle, I just hope that isn't the case, So it's like, I don't treat it like, I'm not like a paranoid schizophrenic where I'm like, where I'm like scared of the person and constantly questioning everything they say and do. But I'm kind of like, I like to assume the best in people, but I'm not going to do or say anything that they could potentially use against me in the future, right? So again, it's kind of like that. The advantage of that, I guess, is kind of like what you said, by keeping them at an arm's length, that prevents anything seriously bad happening to me. But then I guess that prevents me from developing potentially like close relationships with other people, perhaps on the internet, because I'm deliberately keeping them away. I'm like, no, I don't want to be your friends. But I don't know, personally, I think that friendships, you can sometimes you can have genuine friendships with people that last a long time on the internet. But I do think, as a general rule, it's better when it's done off the internet, and you can actually do things with that person, in real life, because then as well you get like a better kind of like grasp and feel, and you build a closer connection than you would on the internet, right?
Right. Although, unfortunately, for a lot of people these days, especially like during the COVID pandemic and post-pandemic, a lot of people just didn't have that option. A lot of people, like, online is their only option. They may have been more apt to be more open with certain people than probably should. But like I said, it's always good, even if you trust the person. Like, what if someone hacks their communications and sees it? Things like that. They're just kind of thinking of that mentality. And I think that goes back to being the fucking middle management waging again, being careful with the work communications and emails and things like that, like viruses, shit like that, but also not sharing certain things with certain people who may not need the access, things like that. It's just
to
how
verify.
much of this
Yeah, exactly.
are you doing because you want to be social? How much of it are you trying to make money? Are you trying to make content?
Mm-hmm.
And you just got to gauge that accordingly. But you do have to, like I got a few people here in FlaVR. I would 100% wholeheartedly say they are my friends.
That's
none of them know my real name.
Yeah.
For example, it's just you gotta protect certain things, be honest about certain things.
Yeah.
Not to scare them or just because I've had to deal with a couple of snakes in the grass as well. I've had to cut off a couple people in my life.
Yeah, I've experienced that once since VTubing myself.
It's a fucking heartbreak, yeah.
Yeah. And this is the thing, I guess actually I didn't really think about this all this much. Yeah, I actually have run into that situation where another content creator was like cozying up to me and trying to become like a real friend. And then there was that gotcha moment, I guess. They let it slip. They had that mask off moment, because I remember one time I had a stream where I had like 120 people watching and he was streaming and I didn't rate him. And then when he found out after the fact, like, he was in my DMs, like throwing his toys out of the pram about it. And that's when I kind of realized, okay, I see. He's revealed his motivations there, right? Whereas not just the other day, we were like up late at night watching a movie together, right? Like, but over Discord, like not in person.
Right. It's like, I think maybe I'm lucky in my particular position right now, where I don't have shit for anyone to mind. Like, I regularly do streams where I have 1 or 2 people watching, including my phone going, so I can see if I get content claim from a fucking BGM again. I don't make any money off of this. Yeah. Like, I have nothing to offer you except my heart and my soul, my time, and my admiration and my moral support.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not happy with that, then, like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's one thing.
But if you're okay with that, then I will do everything I fucking can for you. That's what I tell people at work. That's what I tell people in my real life. I will be happy to do anything I can for you in the very, very limited capacity that I have.
Yeah, I usually keep everyone at an arm's length. I treat everyone as an acquaintance, try to be on friendly terms with everyone, and keep it at that. Yeah, that's the kind of same sentiment I share as a Hana. You try to keep things polite and respectful for the most part, and then you can't get burned. So yeah, that's my attitude. What was I going to say? I was going to say, what was I going to make? Actually, no, take it away, Amanda. Actually, I forgot. I was going to say something.
Well, I got to talk about the content that I was talking about briefly. I want to bring this up too. Fire Pro Wrestling World, this pro wrestling simulation game, and I think that I waited to bring this up because it's kind of an encapsulation of a few different things that I said. When I was growing up, I played Fire Pro Returns on the PS2. Fire Pro is a wrestling game, but it's more of a simulation. There's like a lot of things you can tweak, a lot of particulars. You can make your own groups and belts and pay-per-views and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
So I was overjoyed when I found out that Fire Pro World, the successor, the sequel, was on Steam, and it had a community workshop with over 180,000 parts you could download.
Oh wow!
Things like that. I'm thinking this was literally something I did for years. Like, I would do a little pay-per-view on my own for like once a month or something just for myself. So I thought it would be great to pick up Fire Pro and just have some fun with it. And I got really fucking upset initially when I first tested it because it worked, but they're like 10, 15 DLC packs.
Oh god,
And
I
if you
hate
download
that.
a character from Community Creations,
Mm.
you can't use it unless you own that DLC pack.
Oh my
So
god.
I was initially really pissed off, and that goes to being Menhera about not having the capacity, not being able to do that as opposed to what I can do. So I decided to go ahead and put that on the back burner. And then a few days ago, I'm complaining about that at work, and my division head is like, "Hey Amanda, have you checked your credits yet? Like you get credits like when the division thinks you're doing something good." And I had like a shit ton of credits.
Ooh.
And they just gave me a fucking $50 gift card for like a couple of accounts that I brought in. And like the very next week, I went ahead and bought the rest of it at like 80% off. And I'm glad I fucking did.
God bless the Steam sales, yeah.
Yeah, because what I ended up doing, I did what I did when I was alone. Fire Pro, I downloaded like a few hundred characters. I made little pay-per-views. And the great thing about Fire Pro is that you don't even have to play. Like, you just set them both to computer and sim out the matches. That's what I ended up doing. That's what I did for months with Returns, and that's what I did on stream for World. I just made up cards and tournaments and stuff, let the computer dictate who won, and then just made storylines around that. And it just went full. I just went full fucking camp with it. I made PNGs of the pertinent characters, whoever won, and I did promos on the spot as them, voice acting like the G-Man and the DC Joker and shit like that. Like,
just went full into it,
if I'm gonna go ham, I'm gonna go full.
Just go all the way, right? If you're gonna bother, go all the way in, yeah.
And it was the dumbest shit in the world. But I fucking felt good, and this is no one's gonna fucking like this. Fire Pro is my number 1 and number 2 most watched streams of all time, and I regularly get like 5 or 6 times people watching Fire Pro, my federation, than like normal scheduled streams. So that's why I say that Fire Pro saved my channel, because it's dumb shit. It's 100% camp. Going fucking crazy for it, but people still love it, and that goes and that really helped clear out a lot of the brainworms, because
it does. When you hit that thing that people like, it really helps, doesn't it?
I don't have to play the popular shit. I can do the shit that I love and go crazy, and there still be an audience, and that really fucking helped.
So out of curiosity, like when you started your content creation stuff and you've kind of been doing it for a little while now, are you surprised by what people and what how do I say this? Are you like surprised by what you're actually like the best at? Are you surprised by what people watch you for? Because when I started VTubing, I thought that people would come to watch me for like gameplay, funnily enough, and that I thought my weakest skill would be Zatsu dance, talking, and like I don't know, basically just Zatsu dance and talking. And funnily enough, after VTubing for a while now, actually people tune in to watch me talk about stupid shit, but no one gives a fuck about my gameplay. So it's actually the exact opposite of what I was expecting. But then also, I was surprised that I was actually, I think, relatively okay at doing Zatsu dance and talking. So it's funny how it works out that way. How about you?
Oh yeah, definitely, and that goes back to how initially this was supposed to be a V-Singer channel, but like after the first couple of karaoke.
Hey, Hostilian, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you, my friends.
I just couldn't, just stopped feeling the music after a couple of incidents, and just trying to put all the money, quote unquote, into it being a VTuber singing channel. I had to like, what else can I do? What else? And then I thought about Mother Tifi's writing streams and my history as a writer, and like just out of nowhere, I decided, hey, I'll go ahead and write up some of this lore that I've been working on, go ahead and clarify it for the people, and people really loved it. And then I got Fire Pro, and people absolutely loved that. And I even started doing my own Zatsus once a week, the weekly wrap up, because I figure, I stream a lot for an indie, because I can stream both before and after work, because I'm working from home now. And not everyone's going to be busy. Not everyone watches every stream. So nice to have a little weekly Zatsu, little wrap up, talk about the week that was, week coming up, things like that, and get that extra Zatsu practice in. But the way my channel looks now, it looks and the content looks a whole lot different than it did like even 6 months ago, and definitely.
Yeah, thank you, iStudy. It makes me really happy to hear that, because that kind of was like the intent of what I'm doing. So it's good to see that I managed to hit it's good to see I managed to hit the target with that.
And that can change, and it's important to realize.
Thank you, Doug.
Like when
thank you very much, guys.
Doesn't work anymore, when you're not feeling it anymore, and when it might be time to try something else, and trying to avoid that burnout by changing it up here and there.
Yeah, it's a big thing, particularly when we're both working men, right? We probably work hard, work a lot of hours, and it's difficult for us. Whereas a lot of VTubers are, they're very young women in their like late teens, early 20s. They probably VTube full time, or they work at least part time. They don't, or maybe they are working, but they're like, they're at the beginning of the career ladder, so there's not much responsibility and stress on them. So it's something I try to say to other VTubers, particularly the male VTubers as well, who are struggling. Is it's like, look, comparison is the death of joy, and one thing you need to take into account is that, when you're working a full-time job and you're middle-aged, and you come back and you're exhausted, you don't have much free time in the evenings because you make your own dinner. You don't have mum to make your dinner or make your bed for you. It's you're not going to be able to compete with someone who has like 50, 60 hours a week to do their VTubing when you can only reasonably put in like 15 hours or so.
Right, and like the money too, people aren't getting
the money as well. Yeah,
a lot of people do like buy a Ryzen 7 or whatever the fuck the kids have these days. And it's like Heyman says, highlight the positive and try to hide the negative. Do what you can do, focus on what you can do, and when you can do it. Like, it blew my mind that I initially, when I started doing it, streams at like 7 a.m. Eastern. I did it because there's a local swimming pool out here, like a municipal city swimming pool. I used to go to in the mornings on my days off, and they were like Wednesday before the pool. I don't think they're opening up again till Labor Day, but I still do the 7 a.m. streams because I'm up that time anyways for work, and sometimes I'll stream before work and get up earlier. And I was worried that people weren't going to come in, so I still did evening streams as well. And almost nobody showed up to a lot of the evening streams, but people are piling in for the morning streams.
Yeah, I see.
And they're like, I've got some regular people, like, it's early, and I stream early enough that some of the people on the West Coast who are getting in late stop by, and I've actually gotten a few European fans who are regular in my 7 a.m. streams. So that helped with the brain worms a lot, being able to do things my way. That's healthier for me, the times that work for me, and people are still going to enjoy it.
Yeah, time zone tanking is a thing, right? It's just like with video uploads as well. I notice that if I upload videos at a certain time, they're going to do much better than if I upload at another time. And it's like, it's I think a part of the game as well is finding the right days and the right time zone to maximize, I guess, the kind of audience you're going to catch.
And it really helps if you're a wagey and you work 50 to 60 hours a week, and you don't have a lot of options because you got to do family stuff and other, like, that's one of the things about being ahead.
I do have a Dizzy. I have a Dizzy remake video coming, iStudy. I already have a Dizzy video. I'm going to make a second one.
Like that IRL stuff. So it really, like, I'm not paralyzed for choice about when I can stream. Like someone who wants to do it for a living, who have to stream like 40 or 50 hours a week just to get noticed these days. I try to tell people, I hope you succeed. I really fucking do. But it's kind of a bad time to get into this as a business.
Thank you, iStudy. Thank you.
A lot of people just jumping out of the big corpos. It's kind of it's been oversaturated for a while now, I feel.
Yeah.
And a lot of the indies are being taken advantage of, and it's disgusting to see. So I hope you succeed. I hope you make the fucking money that you're looking for, but don't do it for the fucking money.
Don't do it for the money. Yeah, don't. Oh my god. There's particularly VTubing has a short shelf life as well, I think.
Yeah, like we don't know. We still don't know how long VTubing is going to be. Like, how long like, Gura kind of showed us how fucked our perception of time has been during the COVID pandemic. With she's just quit. She just started, didn't she? She hasn't been around that long. Gora's been doing this shit for longer than Kazuna AI has.
Yeah.
I think Kazuna AI retired after like 4.5 years. Gora's over 5. Although
Disney Remaster Remake Reloaded Director's Cut. Yeah. Disney Resurrections.
She's been doing this longer than anyone. Like Sora and Aski, but they've been over 6-7 years. Like, I think, and the reason, like, we don't realize it's been that fucking long, I feel, is because our perception of time has been so warped over the last several years.
I completely agree. I have no idea where the time's going, man.
We're kind of starting to shake our heads, kind of starting to figure things out now. And a lot of these people who are retiring for one reason or another, kind of making us realize how fucking long it's been.
Yeah,
and then you feel like even more of a hag. But then thank God that, because even if you're leaving a big corpo like that, I think Kason Coco was the one who kind of helped prove it was feasible initially, but people like Doki are the ones who perfected it, that there is life after a big corpo. There is life.
There is, yeah.
Doing this without Niji Sanchi or Hololive or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be, it's going to be sad that we don't see Gargora anymore. But because, and I know she's not, because she didn't sign the affiliate thing.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen the Orca, we've seen Ame appear. Gora did not say she was going to be an affiliate, but who knows?
Yeah, we've lost one of the great VTubing mascots, and that's going to damage, I guess, like the whole industry, and it's going to cause a bit of a strike in the morale. But I guess it's kind of like a wake-up call, right, about how VTubing is finite, and that really, when you look at the statistics, I don't know what they are off the top of my head, but it's something like over 90% of streamers stop like forever after the 7-year point. I know people tend to look at like the big, long established Twitch streamers like your Asmongold's and Mizkif or whatever, but these guys are like the exception, not the rule. And I think that as well, I think, to be fair, most popular VTubers put in considerably more effort into their content than like your regular Twitch streamer, chatter, reaction guy does. So I think VTubers are going to burn out quicker than the Twitch people do, unless they're able to continue coasting off of less demanding, lower effort content. So it's kind of like you need to enjoy your VTubers, your streamers, whilst you can, because they're not going to be around forever.
Yeah, that's what I tell people, man. Love your Oshis while you can, and download the streams that you love, because you don't know what's going to happen to their channels.
Yeah, that's a big thing, right? They
might either get nuked, like Brolame, his YouTube
Oh, poor Brolame, I know. What a fucking disaster that is.
I mean, he showed a Pierce cock on stream, so you kind of understand where YouTube is going on it.
But he's a nurse. He's an educational stream.
But there was a medical reason behind it. There wasn't, but still, YouTube just sees a Pierce cock, and they have those kind of thoughts. I mean, but it's at least he still has the outlet with Twitch and everything, and I believe they're still fighting.
It's all because Harambe passed away.
Like, you don't know when they're going to be gone.
Yeah, fans stick for the talent. It's about the talent, not the company.
Announcement. Right? Usually, when they give you a month before they go ahead and retire. Gora's did like a week and a half. Like, I'm sure it has nothing to do with Mongolia being closed when it was, but still, it was very sudden. And like you wonder, like, it's not the same pipeline as like Mume and Gora are gonna retire.
Yeah.
Before, like within a couple of days of each other, you don't know, man. It's just save the streams that you love, legally by any means necessary. Support them while you can, love them while you can, because you don't fucking know. You might get hit by a fucking bus someday. You might have a nuke dropped on your head, like Cross Dillinger walking into the club with a nuke.
Yeah.
And it's fucking, you never know.
You might get terminated by a fish man and lose your channel here.
Yeah, and obviously, it goes without fucking saying, but treat the people in your real life that way too.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Call your mom, call your dad, tell them no, let them know you fucking love them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen. That's exactly right. I mean, Speaking of not knowing what's going to happen, if you're comfortable, I guess, speculating on it, what do you reckon is going on with the whole HoloLive situation? Do you think there's black company stuff going on in the background, or do you think it's a case of there's like a new business direction, I guess, and the old school talents who joined for a different reason just don't want to, get with the new HoloLive? What do you think?
Well, let me preface this by saying I don't know shit about fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It all of them are given the boilerplate answer of disagreements with management.
Yeah.
So you got to start asking: are they just not happy with the direction of the company, or are they being? I honestly don't feel like anyone is being forced to quit. Like no one's being fired.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they'd be terminated. I think it is their option, and although there may be blanket reasons, I really do feel like you can't say one blanket thing. Because what could be different for Aqua could be different for Shion, could be different for Mume, could be different for Gora, could be. Oh my god, there is a fucking lot of them.
There is actually when you say it like that, yeah.
But a lot of it, I feel like it did start with HoloLive going live and like with the investors and everything.
Yeah, going with the investors.
We're never really gonna know until someone like breaches an NDA or something. But you just gotta respect their choice. Like whatever it is, whatever the reason is, if they can legally tell us, they will. But I know Kason, Coco, has like almost never talked about stuff like that. And I know it's been so long, the NDAs have probably expired. But she doesn't want to hurt her friends that are still there. Doesn't want to smear this company. Like even though I know she must still love HoloLive, regardless of the way it ended.
Yeah, as the Horror Channel says, I feel it's an investor thing. Something happened late in 2023, and Callie did mention that disagreement with management is a generic term. I do think that it's to do with the investors, but I reckon Yagu actually wants this. I think that, if I recall, I believe Yagu's always wanted HoloLive to kind of be more than a streamer company. He's always wanted it to be like the leading edge of 3D technology, and for it to be a true, I guess, like 3D full idol entertainment company. So I know that people are getting really mad.
Wasn't he originally like? Oops, sorry. Wasn't he like originally like Sanrio or something? He's more of a businessman than an entertainer, regardless of how they try to prop him up as a figure himself. And he is like a tech guy. Like that's originally was like Stikina Sora was kind of like a tech demo that really took off.
That's right. So yeah, I wonder, right, if people think like the investors are the bad guys, I guess if you want to use those terms, like the investors are the bad guys, I reckon personally my schizo rat is that actually Yagu wants this to happen, and that's why he's like allowed this. Well, it's not like it's his decision alone, but I reckon Yagu's fully complicit in the new direction HoloLive is perhaps going to go. And like what As a Harrow Channel says here, how much disagreement with management would a fandom take before they start quitting? Because people they like are no longer there. And I think that's like the big challenge that HoloLive are going to face, is it's like, right, it's all well and good maybe that you want to change the direction now to go down this route of being a 3D entertainment business. But the problem is that your company was built off of the backs of these terrific, unique talents who can't be replaced. I mean, HoloLive has had new generations of people come in, people like Shiori, and that whole entire generation has done quite well for itself. But the problem is that if all the old people leave, the whole thing's going to tank. Yeah. Sorry, what you said?
It's just. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying, Advent Justice have been hitting out of the park, but again, like it's natural to try to find like one person to blame for situations like this. It's probably a whole bunch of things.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at the people like been doing like 3 years, 4 years. Aqua's like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
It is all popping. Like I don't feel it could be a coincidence that it was after announcing that they were going live, going public, because now you do have to answer the investors as well.
Yeah.
And maybe I like to think a little bit more positively for this guy who helped bring us this world. It's like now people are seeing, the indies are like, you got to think a lot of the people were just there just to cash a check. And now people like Doki and people like Kason are showing them you can cash that check on the indies without being forced to do corpo stuff. So I know part of it is probably management, but I also think like part of it is that they see that you can be an indie now if you bring over even like 10% of your base from when you were a corpo, and you can still make a go of it.
Yeah, they probably just maybe as well. Maybe they just want to relax. They've been in the industry for quite a long time now. They've worked very, very hard. Like had almost no personal lives, working for the Hololive Corporation. So maybe a part of it now as well is that they're like, look, I don't want to. I just want to take it easy now, and like I guess kind of glide into retirement rather than continuing to suffer trying to deliver this high quality project as part of Hololive.
Yeah, even though there may be one or two overarching things, it's going to be different for everyone. And we got to remember that if accusation of things, if rats start coming out, it's going to every one of these girls made their own decision.
Yeah, many of them are doing that. That was indies, you're right. Yeah,
made their own decision and had their own reasons for it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's maybe it's not the right wording, but I think it's good in a way. I think the future of VTubing is going to be with the indie, and we're going to see maybe I reckon Hololive will remain until the end of VTubing. I'm going to say the cursed words. I do think Hololive is too big to fail. I do reckon that. I wouldn't say the same of like VShojo or say FaZe Connect, but I think the future of VTubing will lie in the independent VTubers because of the freedom and how poorly managed a lot of these VTuber corporations are. But at the same time though, I guess I started off as a VTubing fan. I started off on the indie pill because I thought the whole concept of a VTuber corporation, essentially corporate streaming, was stupid because to me, like the whole appeal of streaming is that you have a private individual with the complete freedom to do what they want. But I very quickly, like after the first year or two of being a VTuber fan, I became corpo pilled because what I found, and again I don't hold this against the independent VTubers, but I found a lot of indies after 2-3 years kind of either got like burned out or they started resting on their laurels, and they wouldn't come to stream with like the same energy, the same level of quality of their content. They kind of just seemed like not all there anymore. And I guess one of the advantages of working for a VTuber corporation is that you do like have a miserable manager constantly breathing down your neck and making sure that you're keeping on top of your game, basically.
Yeah, and like the people complain about people like Gora's last song "Ash Again," which is such a fucking hard bomb. Taking 2 years to get through the pipeline.
You're unironically right, Azihara. I agree with you 100%. I do think you're genuinely onto something there. Like the Asmongold thing is what people want. People want to end up like Asmongold.
Because you've got this massive fucking machine behind you that's taking it to the fucking Dodger Stadium and putting your face on cards and stuff. So like, you're not going to have that kind of reach as an indie. You are going to have the freedom to do what you want. If you join the corpo though, you've got so much more of a machine behind you.
Yeah.
And I guess whether you want to join a corpo or not, a lot of that does hinge on the big question, which is why are you doing this? What drives you?
Yeah.
In the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like, you go back to professional wrestling back in the 2000s, 2001. There was usually just WWE and WCW, the two big companies that defined the 90s and 2000s Attitude Era.
Did Vince buy WCW?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
ECW, which was a little upstart that inspired WWE, died, I think, like February or something in 2001. And then WCW died, and Vince bought them as well. And it was the lead up to WrestleMania X7. Which 2001, which most people mark as the end of the legendary Attitude Era.
Oh god, I grew up with the Attitude Era. I loved it so much.
Oh fuck yeah!
Did you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Hell yeah! But you'll notice at the end of the Attitude Era, they didn't have that competition when they went down, and the WWE for the longest time was the only place, and without that competition, things got really stale. Like regardless of Nichisanji, Hololive was the only place to be for the longest time.
Yeah.
You're talking about your favorite indies. When are they going to get to Hololive? Was the only conversation. But eventually, it took too fucking long, in my opinion. AEW came out with the Bucks and Omega.
I actually really liked Triple H as a kid, you know. Triple H is my favorite as a kid. Ric Flair's fantastic. As an older man, I fucking love Ric Flair now, yeah.
WWE
Woo!
to change their strategy, to get a new writers in, to get Triple H writing stuff, and finally be competitive and entertaining again. Because just like with Hololive, they were showing that you could make a living on the indies.
WCW started setting itself on fire and then they started leaving, yeah.
But you may have a little bit more freedom. So I guess I kind of where I see that analogy. And of course, we all know wrestlers are VTubers, of course.
Yeah.
I will not elaborate. But it's just, you see, anything is better when you have a whole bunch of voices out there, when you've got a bunch of options, when you've got competition, so to speak, and it's just not the same Walmart shit over and over again.
Exactly.
It's just, and like I said, it's one of the things I do love so much about FlaVR, because there's so much.
Yeah, so much variety.
There's so many different things.
VTuber for anyone in FlaVR, exactly.
Yeah, we got femboys, we got gotcha caramel streamers, we got.
I bloody love Dio Polito. I love Dio. And I love Juwon as well.
We got a bread man recently.
Oh, you got a bread man recently?
Yeah, Salty. I think it was a couple of months ago, Salty went ahead and put on the tag, and he is officially FlaVR. And like even people who may not consider themselves FlaVR anymore, like Nyana Banyana, a real fucking success story.
Nyana's story, I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? How Nyana, my god, she's a powerhouse, Nyana.
Absolutely. And people like Senna and Mina Vanilla, like, there was a lot of people trying to talking shit about, they don't stream with the FlaVR tag now. They don't talk to other FlaVR members. I think it was the untagging or whatever I don't fucking know. I was in the unique position, Malone and myself.
From shitposter to VTuber concert organizer.
We started like shortly after.
Got 3D concerts before fucking Nichisanji did as a horror.
Cleared up, so I'm not gonna fucking go into it too much. But after that, like FlaVR, for whatever good name it had built up, there were problems in the industry, quote unquote. But now with the hard work of the people who stayed around, like Jawoon and all of them, and with the new talent like Malone and Gwen and Choco and Salty and Susie Blue, I feel like we're finally in a good place again. I feel like FlaVR is the place to be again for creative, for entertainment, for AI-related stuff. And I'm honored every fucking day, every fucking time I hit go streaming. And then I have to open up the browser and hit streaming again because I don't have it automatically.
I've done the same,
And I tell people that I'm their faithful menace, and that's why I say I'm your faithful menace splats, because I want to be faithful to the people and to the quote-unquote industry that helped make me what I am today.
Oh, that's a very lovely sentiment. If only we had... If only 20% of VTubers had the same attitude you have, there probably wouldn't be 8 Google Docs being dropped today, and we'd probably go more than one day about massive drama in this industry. Yeah, but yeah, I hope FlaVR doesn't die.
I'm not up on that shit.
Yeah. I hope FlaVR continues strong. FlaVR is one of my favorite things that's ever happened in VTubing. Is FlaVR, and I want to reflect that in the eventual documentary I'm making on FlaVR.
And I think that the people who are saying FlaVR is dead after the untagging, whatever they fucking call it, FlaVR is alive and well. It just looks different. You got the Babanuku streaming now, Big Babanuku Revolution. You got people who weren't streaming regularly. You got powerhouses like Bro LeMay and Raymond Ricotta going hard.
Yeah, I
you
love
got
those
people
two.
In the background like Tem and Neo. You got Jawoon. Like, it's not the FlaVR you remember. But the VTubing sphere right now is not the VTubing sphere you remember either.
No, it's not. Everything changes.
You gotta
Google Docky. Google Docky!
But the FlaVR...
Yeah! Throws popcorn everywhere.
The FlaVR is going to stay. And the FlaVR is going to change slightly. It reminds me of... a long time ago.
Meme to reality. Like, row, fight the power.
Yeah, I'm gonna fucking dox myself, but this is perfect. I used to work in like fragrances, perfumes, and shit. And one of the biggest complaints we would get was like, "Hey, why doesn't this bottle of whatever smell like it did when I bought it 50 years ago?" And I'm like, the scents will change over time. Like things that might have been found as perfume.
Yeah, ingredients change.
Things that might be
shit.
allergens. Yeah. Like even like what was a big one, the number 5 isn't the same thing it was a long time ago. It's just, it's what you love. It may not be the configuration you love, but it's still there. And you know, we'll be sad if you don't like it. We'll be sad if you don't watch it. But there are now so many other options out there, both on the big corpo, little corpo, and the indie scene, that even if you're not a fan of FlaVR, that you can still be a fan of VTubers. You still find what you love.
Yeah, I love FlaVR.
That makes me so fucking happy.
Yeah, I love FlaVR because it's like I said, there's so much variety there, and it's just like the FlaVR VTubers are just such like genuine, honest, down to earth people. They're very much a group of people where it's like what you see is what you get with them, and it's great. They're like true blue independent VTubers, and again, not to I guess not to criticize, I guess, the current state of like small corpo VTubers and like the rising indie VTubers these days, but I find there's like, I think like the really popular, like the path to becoming a really popular VTuber is about kind of like your memeability and like having tags, right? So it's kind of like, I've noticed that for like some big face connect VTubers were, I guess, like on the smaller side for quite a while, and then once there was like a stupid meme or a stupid tag for them, that's when they became really popular. So like when Lumi wasn't really known for anything other than being like a dorky sci-fi woman, she was small for quite a while, but then when she like built herself a reputation as being the stupid blonde white retard, you know, person, and like the yapping lemon thing, then it becomes like oh yeah, it's Lumi, she's the retard yapping yellow white woman thing. And it's like, yeah, I think that sometimes people get obsessed with tags and memes and they don't appreciate like the complete picture of a VTuber, and I think people have like latched onto that. So when you get new corporations coming on, there tends to be like almost, they tend to fit people into templates, right? They tend to fit them into characters, and they're not necessarily the best match for that character, and it's not genuine. So the thing I like about FlaVR is that even if a FlaVR VTuber is doing something I'm not particularly interested in, their natural personality, their natural charisma though, shines through because they're genuinely interested in what they're doing. So I want to stick around and watch it, right? Like, I don't like fighting games, and I don't normally care for coding streams either, yet I'll happily watch Juun, you know, play those Dragon Ball Z fighting games, or watch Neo Paulino do his coding streams, because I just like the mood, the general vibe of their streams.
Yeah, and I'm of two minds of the whole clipping thing and being popular off of a meme or whatever. Because on the one hand, like you said, it doesn't kind of display who the actual streamer is. But on the other hand, in a post-COVID society, most people don't have time
you fall asleep to
sit
the
down
coding
and find a new VTuber and watch like 20, 30 hours of them to get the real gist of them.
Mm-hmm.
So clips and things like that, they are a great way to introduce people. I mean, most of us back in the COVID days found out about HoloLive
through the clips
of Big Medican Burger or Watermelon Head, or, you know, Good Morning Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So you can't be too mad about how just the clips may not exemplify who you are when it's what drew us in the first place.
Mm-hmm. But the thing about clippers as well, right, is that clippers can do a lot of good, but then they can also do a lot of bad and misrepresent a VTuber. So kind of like, I think for me, I'll never watch Shiori or Nerissa Ravencroft from HoloLive, and it has absolutely nothing to do with those two. I'm sure I'd actually enjoy watching those two if I did. I'm sure those two are very much up my alley and are great entertainers. But my problem is that when those two debuted, there were so many clippers who would like have these clickbait AI generated thumbnails with like the stupid titles like Nerissa wants to sit on Shiori's face, or like eat her pussy out and shit. Seeing all that like fucking degenerate based shit from all their clippers has completely like the idea of watching their streams makes me like just sick to the stomach, and I'm not going to check them out purely because of the negative reputation that their clippers have put onto them.
And that's a fucking shame. That does a disservice to them. But as I believe, doesn't Hololive and then Jusanji, or one or both of them, have a thing now where they'll strike or complain about anything that's not properly representative or might slander talent or something?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Some kind of thing they did recently. I'm not sure. I may be talking out my ass, but I don't know if it says to mistranslated clips or stuff, but you get that everywhere, man. Not just the VTuber sphere. You'll get like, fucking blows my mind. I open up my YouTube feed,
slander, yeah,
and every single video title ends with "situation is crazy." Like it's not as much as it has pervaded like the news, maybe the news. Quote unquote,
I'm glad you've been in trance, Dark Knight. Thank you.
More than like clips, but definitely clips as well. You see it in a lot of videos. Just people trying to get those clicks. People just trying to fucking get the traffic, get the advertisements and everything. Yeah. It's a damn shame, because unless it's something like really slanderous, you can't do a whole lot about it.
Yeah.
But you know, people are gonna clip on those clicks and see what like the actual thing is. Like, so unless they're just manipulating your words or slandering you or whatever.
Yeah, and that's again, it's weird. I always thought that someone who's a clipper for a VTuber would be like a fan who watches that VTuber all the time. But I've come to realize, apparently, from some of the other clippers, is that someone can be a clipper for a VTuber, but actually not even care or actually like that VTuber, which seems really weird to me. I don't understand how you could do that. But I guess if you're desperate for money or content, or like to be a channel of some renown, I guess that's weird. Yeah, again, but okay.
It's like if you don't like Gora, but she's the #1 VTuber out there right now, you can make some money off of clips of her, regardless of how you feel about her. It's just like, and it goes again to your motivations. Why are you doing this? Why are you in the game in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as a horror, I mean, like, yeah, I was going, as I said, I've been working on a documentary for Phase Connect for the last year, and I'm very nearly done with part 1 of it, which is gonna be about 2 hours long. But yeah.
I look forward to it, man. Fucking let me know.
Thank you. Yeah. I hope everybody enjoys it. You have no idea how much pressure I've like feel trying to get this fucking documentary right. Seriously, the problem is that no matter how much research, no matter how hard I try, when I release this thing, there's going to be like a dozen autists in the comment section going, "Oh my god, why didn't you talk about this?" Or "How could you forget about this?" Or "Why didn't you know this?" It's going to be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, guys. Like, I'm sorry, but there's like a billion Phase Connect talents these days. I haven't watched every single fucking stream over the last 4 years of every single Phase talent, alright? Alright, cut me some slack. God damn."
Even if you're just looking at the 7 Gen 1 talents, all of them have been streaming for 4 years each. That's you trying to cram 28 hours.
Oh, I haven't seen that as a horror. I have to check that out, actually.
Into 2
I'll have to check that one out. That sounds fun. Yeah. But I mean, it's like, yeah, it's one thing I was going to bring up in the Phase Connect documentary as well, is how important people like Azehara channel, Low Effort Clips, and Not Theo, and 1 or 2 more clippers who have since stopped clipping since then, have actually been, like, how important they've been in kind of building up the reputation and the lore of Phase Connect, because there's like 3-4-year-old Phase Connect clips that have like several 100,000 views, right? And it's like, yeah, it's like these are some of like the iconic clips, I think, that have attracted people to the wacky lore of Phase Connect. It's kind of like people like Azehara, Not Theo, Low Effort Clips basically were Phase Connect, like, or like in their specific cases, Pippa's, Tenma's, you know, whatever. They were like their PR marketing department back in the day, kind of thing.
Yeah, shout out to Pebble.
And Pebble as well. Yes, I do have a segment. Yeah. I do have a segment where I am shouting out Pebble, because he's been there on his own for so many years. He was Aruka's only, well, I mean, there was Aruka's exposed stomach for a little while, but Pebble, until Harlequin clips came along, it was just Pebble who was just clipping Aruka. So yeah, Pebble's a legend.
It always feels good, like, and I think that goes back to the spirit of community that drives a lot of VTubers. It always feels good when you find something you like and you find someone else who likes what you like, because you can kind of bond over that. Like, even in like fucking
Pretty
touching
Pippa,
grass,
yeah.
or in my case, touching sand.
Pippa's old laugh,
When you
Asahara.
find that's how most adults start friendships and start a relationship over shared interests. So it's always nice when
The Ethan
when I
Ralph
find
stream,
someone I
Asahara,
love,
fucking
share
hell.
friends.
What a
They
day that
might
we're living
like
in
it
for
as
me.
well. Just because it's a way to bond, it's a way to share your inspiration, kind of tell a little bit of who you are.
That's exactly right. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Clippers will sometimes archive streams and sessions. Yes, that's true. Yeah, you get people like Archive Bro. You get the guys who are always there, who will like save the save like the VODs and shit, because there's so much. Particularly in like old Pippa's case, she lost a lot of streams to some of the shit she said and did sometimes. like the funny.
Plus, we're doing a lot of unarchived stuff too, right?
The funny hat stream as well, when she the needy streamer stream. That's a classic. That started the Reddit hate threads. That's funny. I'm sorry, but again, just a tangent on that a little bit. It really is a culture shock to me, right? Because again, I've been a gamer and I've been on the internet since the early 2000s. So when people make jokes about shekels, and they make like jokes about Jewish people, that just I don't notice that as being shocking, because it was all the rage back in the early to mid 2000s, right? But if you even just make a joke about the Happy Merchant these days, that's like that in itself will get you accusations of being a Nazi and will get you cancelled. And it's like, fucking hell. Like I don't even know when we decided that the F slur was unacceptable, and now they're trying to ban retard. It's like, oh my god, what's happening?
I don't like talking politics on my channel.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Oh, actually, yeah, sorry, that is politics, isn't it? Sorry, my bad. I know we said not to do that. I didn't think about that. My bad, sorry. But yeah, I'll just move on.
I don't like politics on my channel, because regardless of what you feel about something, you're gonna piss off 49% of your community.
Yeah.
By some so like I deal with politics so much in my fucking real life.
Yeah, people get enough of it, right?
At work and shit. Yeah, it's supposed to be a place to get away from that shit.
Mm-hmm. These are all the thoughts and opinions of Lord Maulington. Amanda Splats does not. Amanda Splats does not endorse or agree with Maulington's comments.
Well, I think maybe the bringing this stream to a screeching fucking halt. Maybe that would go ahead and time to wrap it up, because I do get.
Yeah, it's been the 2 hours anyway, so let's kind of leave it there. Yeah.
Yeah. I swear, man. I understand you've been going through a lot of shit right now, man. I had to reschedule this a couple times. Like I said, I am really happy that we were able to do this before I went on my hiatus, and I was really happy to see you, to maybe be able to talk to you, pick your brain, so to speak.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this, actually.
You've been doing so fucking great, like with the streams and jumping in the collabs and everything. I've seen you around with other flavor collabs. It's great to fucking have you here, man.
Oh, thank you very much. No, I appreciate that, Amanda. I've genuinely really enjoyed this collaboration we've done, and I'm glad we were able to do it before your hiatus, because, yeah, I didn't... I've had, fun this entire time. This last 2 hours has gone by really quickly. So I do hope that you return back from your hiatus and that we can catch up again sometime. I mean, even if you're not going to be streaming anymore, you're always welcome to hit me up on Discord or whatever, and we can chat about stuff.
Thank you. And just to clarify right now, I'm going to try to stream some here and there in May and June. Just I'm not going to have the usual rigid schedule that I usually have. That's why I'm going so hard over the next few days. If I go live, I'll fucking go live. It just depends on a lot of different factors here. Although I will tell people that one thing I was worried about my job, that's cleared up, because there was a meeting with the department heads recently, and I was told that I was a critical part of the change in infrastructure. Some dumb jargon, some shit.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not getting fired. None of my employees are getting fired. So that's one brainworm conquered. That's fucking great. But yeah, it's just practicing self-care, just knowing when it's time to step back, and then just absolutely burning the fuck out of yourself for a few days before that time, just so you got a whole your fans have a whole bunch of content to pick through.
No, absolutely, you're absolutely right. Okay, what I'll do is I'm gonna paste your channel in my chat, and I'm gonna, guys, make sure you head on over to Amanda's channel and you subscribe, and yeah, you keep on tabs with Amanda and check them out. I would highly recommend. Yeah.
And check out the fucking Oshi Push. Like I would have asked you if you wanted to do teaching me the Oshi push, but I'd already promised Malone that he could teach me when we're going on Monday. I will not be streaming the Monday afternoon Cara Malone collab because we'll be playing stuff like Tower Unite and Tabletop Simulator, and I really don't feel like going into my hiatus frying my fucking potato by trying to stream that shit. Well, I guess you could steam a potato technically. And the games are on Steam, so fucking technically, I don't know.
Push.
Apologies, I started the fucking party before I came here. I'm sorry. I mean, it's good. It's good that the game I was streaming this morning was subpar, so I was able to kind of bail a little early and get a couple more hours because, like, I've been going for a while, and I'm gonna keep going. I'm try road testing a couple things later tonight. You're welcome to stop by, but I know you're working so hard on so many fucking things. I'm really looking forward to that documentary, man.
Yeah,
Let me know when it fucking comes out. I really want to check it. Because I feel like talking about, Face Connect, for all the shit that Fishman might get, and he deserves it with that fucking pasta recipe. One graduation, one termination.
One graduation. I think Fishman's really good. He's better than people give him credit for, yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely been doing something right. And with the amazing talents that we have there, I'm happy.
I've been working on the Face Connect documentary for the last year. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's head it up there, guys. Final thank you very much to Amanda Splatz for your time. I had a lot of fun. And again, I'm just going to link Amanda's channel. And guys, make sure you head on over and subscribe. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your Oshi Push session with Cara. Cara's really good. I imagine Cara's better at the game than I am at this point.
Cara is fucking amazing. Cara is like the biggest as far as callings here. I do consider Cara a friend. Don't get a big head about that, Cara. I will still fucking kick your ass and power you tonight. Fuck blood and bacon. I was the one doing the hard carry. Don't watch the VODs. Please don't force me to fucking prove it. It's been an honor. It's been a great time, man. We'll do this again sometime. I am your faithful Amanda Splatz, and
that was a fucking stupid thing from Sakada to donate as well. Really bad timing, really bad joke. Not the right thing to say. Really inappropriate. I usually
stream with a 2D because I can't keep track of shit.
I like the 3D as well, actually. I do like the 3D.
Does it look like I'm facing the audience? Fine, okay. I'm your faithful Amanda Splatz, and this is the Amanda Splatz Project. Y'all have a good night. Gotta look over at OBS now to get the fucking outro. Holy shit. Professional fucking streamer, baby. Professional fucking streamer.
Okay, let me end my stream as well. Okay, guys, thank you very much for tuning in tonight. Thank you very much for the donations. Thank you for the good times. I hope you enjoyed today's stream. Thank you to Amanda, and I'll catch you later, guys. I'm going to go see how my meme on Twitter's doing. It's really doing the numbers. I want to read all the schizo hate comments because I made a mean meme about Cinder. So yeah, take care, guys. I'll see you all another time, and yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much, boys. Take care. Bye-bye.